Of all the things that all cars have in common, maybe one of the most prominent things is the license plate. Every car has one, and in California, each car is actually supposed to have two. However weird it may sound, I've actually been interested in license plates for a while. So much so that it interested me enough to do a speech on it. Today, I would like to reveal to you some of the interesting aspects of the California license plate, and I will do this by highlighting the aesthetic history of the California license plate, the configuration of the alphanumerical symbols that are actually on the license plate, and show you guys some of the purposes that license plates serve. And hopefully you may all realize just how useful and fun license plates actually are. Since 1963, California started using the license plates that were the black background and the yellow lettering. And then it changed in 1970s to the blue background, and then 1982, you can see they added the California in red and the sun logo. And then in 1987, they discontinued the sun, but they kept the California. Then in 93, they had the red block lettering, but they changed it to the script lettering. Then in 1998, you can see on the bottom it says sesquicentennial, 150 years. And you guys probably all seen this, but may not have known that it's actually there to honor the 150-year anniversary of the founding of California, which was in 1850. And then they discontinued that in 2001, and they went back to the same thing they had in 1993. And then recently they actually just changed, they added on the bottom the DMV website, so that, I don't know, it's just a more modern license plate. First license plate was issued in the United States in 1903 to Frederick Tudor. He was number one. The first license plate issued in California, however, actually wasn't until 1914. Since then, it has evolved from being just numbers, because they obviously ran out of combinations, to using a combination of both letters and numbers. Originally, they had 3 letters and then 3 numbers, and they also ran out of those because there's just so many cars on the road that they actually started adding a number before the 3 letters. So now it's number, then 3 letters, then 3 numbers. An interesting thing about license plates in that configuration, the first and the third letter spot, they're never going to be an I, an O, or a Q, because they can be easily mistaken for numbers. Another type of vehicle that has different license plates, the configuration, are commercial vehicles, which is pretty much trucks. What they have is 1 number, then a letter, and then 5 numbers. And then that's distinguished them between regular vehicles because they have different registrations and everything. And they also started running out of those combinations, so they've had to reverse the order. See, now they have the 5 numbers, the letter, then the number. And then one of the last license plate configurations is California exempt vehicles, which most people think are undercover cop cars. And while that is true sometimes, other vehicles that can be, California exempt license plates are given to U.S. government members, state agencies, cities and counties, or special districts. So just because you see a California exempt vehicle doesn't mean it's going to be an undercover cop. It can be a American National Red Cross member or a Civil Air Patrol member. And so, like, if you actually are one of those members, you might be helpful to get one of those license plates because they actually don't expire until December 31st, 2099. So if you want to, not have to pay those little stickers, you get one of those. So what is this all for? Well, there are a couple of purposes license plates serve. There's the obvious one where if you run a red light, then the cops can just track your license plates and give you a ticket. But it goes more than just that. License plates can express personality. License plates, for example, you can apply for special interest plates, which add a little something to your car, and the money that you spend on those actually goes to a good cause. So, for example, there's an arts plate where if you purchase that, it contributes to the state art council, or you can purchase the coastal plate, which is the one with the whale tail on it, and the money that you spend on that goes to the state coastal commission, and the money that you spend goes towards maintaining beaches and educational programs. Or you can buy like a Lake Tahoe one or a Yosemite one. Those ones go to preservation and restoration projects in the local areas. So not only can you purchase plates that have like designs on them, you can also customize your license plates. So you can, the numbers and letters, you can put whatever you want on them. You can't just put anything, because like the DMV has a review process that'll clean out any like bad stuff. But there are some. So like if your favorite band is Metallica, you can do a little one of those. Or if you have or if you're really sneaky and cryptic, you can do one of these. And you may be thinking, oh, what's this? Turn it upside down though. Yeah. That one actually got away. They got away from the DMV, they got that. So, license plates have evolved over the years from coming from the basic black and yellow to what we have today. It doesn't really serve any purpose, changing the license plates, but it's a nice change of pace for every now and then. Also, once you know a few things about license plates and the way they're configured, they can actually also contribute to a fair number of car games that you can play that are fun and entertaining. License plates are a way to express personality and your opinions in a unique way and provide people with something to do on the drive home from school or work. License plates are probably one of the most overlooked aspects of a car, but can prove to be one of the most entertaining and expressive parts about them. Thank you.
Exactly. I'm going
Yeah,
crazy.
what did that mean? What did that mean? You know what? Vlad the Impaler?
Vlad the Impaler. Didn't we have a speech about Dracula in here? Maybe it was my other class. Vlad the Impaler is the historical figure that Dracula is based on. He's a Transylvanian prince, and that was it. And his name, he was the Impaler because he impaled his victims on he stuck a pole up there in them, and that's how he executed people. He impaled them on a tall pole. His name is Vlad the Impaler, but that's Vlad the Impala. That's just funny.
I can see how that's funny.
That's funny.
That for a long time.
No,
That was funnier to me.
I love a bad pun. That's my favorite thing, and that was great.
He basically laughed the A into
I got him an extra point. I was all down. I was gonna take off a point because I thought, why don't we have those pictures of all those specialty plates? You know, like the Tahoe plate or the coastal plate and all that kind of
I thought I
stuff.
put those in, and then
I guess. So I'm just going to take a point away from that on the visuals, and then Vlad the Impala. I said, nope, he gets that point back. You know, that worked.
yeah, the ones 1963 you can't get them, so they just 1963 is on. They have to be the bonus for that year.
Oh yeah. It's like
All right, Scott. I like the commonality that you use to get our attention, and you've got a very clear statement of what your goal is for the speech. There's an excellent layout of what the structure is going to be, and you've got good information in the presentation that you provide us. That's all fine. The visuals, like I said, I thought that they worked pretty well. So all the structural stuff is really good. The delivery issues, still a couple of things that I see are being partially problematic. You stand on the one side the whole time, and you're kind of stepping forward, not quite rocking, but it's very rhythmic. And it sounds like I'm all about body movement today because I've mentioned it 2 or 3 times to different people. Yours was not really distracting, but I think that's the one place where your anxiety comes out, that you're doing that sort of thing. You have your face is up, you've got expressions on your face, but it really feels like you're kind of looking down in front of people for the most part. Instead of really looking at people, it's kind of like I'm talking to you with my eyes downcast. And I think you need to be a little bit more assertive and engaging when you're speaking to us. It may not be your personality, it may be one of those things that just, I'm not into that direct contradiction, but when you've got a big audience, you kind of have to pull people in a little bit. It wasn't horrible, but it's something that you need to work on, something to pay attention to. Your volume was fine. It was easy to hear you. I didn't notice anything that was particularly problematic about pacing, any of those things. So almost everything was really solid. Just a few things to improve on it, and see if you can see what I'm talking about. When you watch your video, you may notice, you say, I thought I was looking at people, but I think you'll see that you kind of, it just, it's sort of like I'm looking at you, but I'm not really looking at you. I've got my eyes downcast while I'm doing it.